All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all the honor, the praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. All right, this is the Brother Barbazar here with a lesson, and Lord willing, it's edifying. So this lesson will be entitled, E will continue to be exposed, all right, before the coming of the Lord. And, just pretty much going into, everybody seeing this devil for who he truly is, on a global scale, right? Going into the whole, you got people against this devil for the whole ICE situation, the Epstein file situation. You got people around the world, having eyes on Trump, with Trump being pretty much being that cruel Lord. Going into Isaiah, I believe the 19th chapter. So we're truly seeing this devil for who he is. And this is all prophesied to happen before the coming of Yahushua. So this is the book of 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. It says, I can start at 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as far from us as that day of Hamashiach is at hand. Yeah. And we're currently at the end times. We're currently seeing the signs of Yahushua's coming. And Yahushua prophesied of those signs of his coming in Matthew the 24th chapter. And we currently living in those times. Verse 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And that falling away first is going into the Israelites, losing their way, losing their heritage. All right. And of course, now, we have an awakening. We're by the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Shemi Yahushai, we know who we are, which is the Israelites, the real Israelites that the Bible speaks of, going into the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And when it says, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, of course, that's going into Esau, which is the so-called white man. And he's been, and the prophets for years and upon years have been revealing this man. And, as we get closer to the return of Yahushua, the world is starting to catch on to it. Verse 4 says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Yahweh, or that is worship. So he that as Yahweh sitteth in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is the Most High. And that's what this devil's ultimate goal is, to sit in the seat of the Most High. We understand that his ultimate goal is to give everybody the MOTB, which we know is the RFID C-HIP, in order for him to have complete control. You see? Verse 5, it says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, who the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. There you go. And the scriptures go into Job 9 and 24 that the earth is in the hand of the wicked, which we know is the Edomite. All right, which is the so-called white man. And it says, the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So the Lord is ultimately coming back as a judge, making war against this place in order to destroy this place, coming back with the angels and the chariots, and ultimately to save the elect. Verse 9, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this, Yahweh shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. So that's pretty much what's going on, right? You know, Esau, he's got these different left-handed miracle signs, you know, because you still have people who believe in it, right? You still gonna have people who take the MOTB, you know, just because, you know, it's coming out that Esau's the wicked. You know, you're still going to have people that take the MOTB out of, you know, feeling like that's what they need to do out of necessity, right? Because they don't have food on the table. They can't get back to their job, to get back to their way of life, to be, get back into the system. You know, you also have those who still believe in, you know, these different idols, right? False religions. You know, that's part of the strong delusion. You see, so they, you know, they're going to believe a lie, but only the elect will truly have the, you know, the faith, you know, in order to be saved, which goes into, you know, the elect of Israel, of the Israelites. All right. So this is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? That's going into Esau, the so-called white man, right? Pretty much the global language being English, which we understand, you know, that's associated with Esau. These different small hats, you know, owning, you know, the different banks and these different high, you know, these different high corporations. So we can clearly see, you know, who's in charge, who's in power. It also says he covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And that goes to the iconoclasm. Esau pretty much covering the faces of, you know, the Israelites who ruled, you know, in the dark ages, you know, making Yahweh Shai, you know, be an Edomite. All right, you know, or portraying Yahweh Shai to be an Edomite, you know, calling him Jesus Christ, painting, you know, the Renaissance period, painting over the dark images. So we understand clearly what Job 9:24, or we understand who clearly Job 9:24 is talking about, man, which is Esau, Edom, the wicked. You can also read about him being the wicked in Malachi 1, which we'll read. Malachi 1:1, the burden of the word of the Lord, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So the Lord is only dealing with Jacob going into Israel, and he hates Esau. You see? Verse 4 says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So Esau is known as the border of wickedness. You know, he was created to be the wicked. And it also says the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So it's only a matter of time before, you know, this kingdom is over and done with, man. You see? So let's also get, we can get this too. Let's get this first Maccabees 1:9. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. It's going into Alexander the Greek, because, you know, when the Greeks came into power, all right, going into Alexander, right, you know, the Edomites, that was the start or the beginning of this beast system. First Maccabees 1:9, it says, and after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, so that their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So that's what happened. As soon as these devils started to rule, evils were multiplied in the earth. And it just kept waxing worse and worse and worse until, you know, we're you know, we at where we at today. You see? And what's happening as a result of this man's rulership? Let's read it. Proverbs 29:2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And the people are currently mourning, against this system, right? Against Esau. America's divided. This man is being revealed in these different Epstein files being released. All right, people against Trump. And the people are what's it called? Rent going up, right? Gas prices going up, inflation. People are going through it, man. And that's all the result of this man Esau's rulership. And it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So that's going to be in the kingdom when the righteous are in authority, and everything going to be in order. You see? I'm going to read Revelation 12:10. It says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And, Esau likes to play the blame game, and he's pretty much going to, accuse the prophets being the reason why, everything is the way it is. And we understand that, even though this devil is being revealed to be the wicked, he's still going to find a way to, pretty much accuse the prophets, accuse the elect, So this man is known as the accuser of the brethren. An accuser, a liar, right? Deceiver. And he's going to figure out a way to persecute the elect. But, we also understand Isaiah 59:19, right? As the enemy come in like a flood, a standard will be lifted. So ultimately, the elect will be delivered through divine intervention. And that's comes with with faith. Because we're not out here trying to, stack up money and build underground bunkers and stack up food and weapons and things of that nature. We have something a lot more precious than that. Something that will is guaranteed to give protection, which is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because the current reason why everything is the way it is because the Lord is in control. You see? And if, it's your lot to be judged, you just go be judged. All right? So this is it's gonna be the last precept, Isaiah 14:21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So this Edomite is not gonna get away, no matter what he try to do, how he tries to, blame the Israelites, blame the prophets, hide what he's done throughout history. Try to water down, slavery, things, this, that, and the third, saying it wasn't that bad. He's not going to escape his judgment. And his judgment is ultimately for his kingdom to be destroyed and to go straight into slavery. All right. But, that'll do with the lesson. All right. The Lord willing, it was edifying. So, with that, I'd like to give all the honor and praise and glory unto Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahushua B'Hashem, Rach HaKodash. Shalom.